am definitely not what you would call a gamer girl in any way. I haven't even played a video game since I was like 12 years old, playing my Nintendo 64 with Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and all of those games. So, I thought there seems to be a lot of people reviewing this movie from a gamer perspective. So I would review it from a perspective of just a casual moviegoer. Well, I'm not really a casual moviegoer, I'm more like movie obsessed, but still, you know what I mean. So there seems to be a lot of disappointment from the gaming community. So I thought as a casual or a movie lover, maybe I would like this movie when I didn't go into it with a gaming perspective, without my rose-colored gaming goggles. Maybe I would like this movie, but unfortunately I didn't. This movie still was pretty bad, and for a movie that is basically about a bunch of treasure hunters, a bunch of thieves looking for treasure, I should have loved that. I love movies like The Mummy, Indiana Jones, and they even reference Indiana Jones in this movie a few times, and I feel like I really should have enjoyed this movie a lot more than I did, but unfortunately, this just really failed to meet my expectations. Like, I absolutely love anything to do with treasure hunting. When I was a kid, I would go digging up the garden, looking for treasure, pretending I was Indiana Jones. So, I feel like for this movie to disappoint me, it had to be pretty bad. So let's go into why I was disappointed. So move over the Fast and the Furious. There's a new contender in town for the craziest stunts in a movie that absolutely defy the laws of nature. But anyway, it was entertaining, I will admit. Some of the stunts at the end were the only good parts of this movie. Well, there was a few other things that I liked, but we'll get into that later. First, let's talk about what I don't like. So Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. So I will say that I do like Tom Holland as an actor. I think he brings a likability to the role. He just is a really likable guy. And he plays this sort of innocent, naive thief with a heart of gold. And apparently a lot of people didn't like him for this role, but like I said, I'm not reviewing it as a gamer. So, I have to say I liked him. I thought he suited what the character was presented as to me, to somebody who has no knowledge of the movie. He seemed like a good fit for a character that is meant to be a bit naive, new to the whole business of treasure hunting and being a thief, and he hasn't really got that cruelty in him yet where he needs to sort of screw people over to get ahead. So then we have Mark Wahlberg, however you say his name, playing as Sullivan. So he plays Sullivan with all the emotion of a brick wall. I mean, seriously, he brought no emotion whatsoever to this movie, to this character. And I've seen him in Fear and movies like that. I feel like he can be a good actor. This role was just definitely not for him. And I feel like he had this whole predictable redemption arc where he was this guy that was obsessed with gold, and then he chose to save Drake over saving the treasure, over saving the gold. And it just felt a little bit too cliche, and well, I like a good cliche. There's nothing wrong with a good cliche, but this wasn't good. It just felt like going through the motions. Selfish treasure hunter decides to put something, above treasure, decides to value a human being more than treasure. It feels like something that could have been quite powerful if done correctly, and it just felt like it was a little too empty. So Tati Gabrielle played the villain. I forget the villain's name, but she was very flat, very one-dimensional, very boring. So Sophia Taylor-Alley was another case of a cliche. A sort of villain, sort of good guy, caught between right and wrong. And it could have been a lot more impactful if it was done correctly. It's another one of those cliches that I love if done correctly. It just felt like in this movie, her character was all over the place in a bad way. Like, she just continually screws over poor Drake. I felt so sorry for him in this movie. She keeps on screwing this kid over, and then at the end of the movie, she gets redeemed because she shows up in a boat when Sullivan and Drake were stranded in the ocean after the whole pirate ship, falls into the water, leaving them stranded, and that is apparently a redemption because they all forgive her. And she only showed up for the treasure because Drake finally wisened up a little bit and pointed her in the wrong direction. So she had to show up for the treasure, but they act like she was redeemed, and I don't know why that's annoying me so much, but it is. So this felt like it was a very empty, soulless movie, relying on a big name and a big budget to fill seats. And this movie was made on an $120 million budget. And Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which is the best Indiana Jones movie in my opinion. Well, it just is the best movie, okay? Just accept it. Anyway, so that was made on a $48 million budget. And it's the best treasure hunting movie of all time. So it just goes to show money definitely is not everything. So this script definitely needed a lot of work. The second act was a bit too slow. It needed a lot more action. It felt like that thing that trailers always do where they show their best parts in the trailer so that you'll go see the movie. And then when you see the movie, you see that you've seen all of the good parts already. So honestly, the only things that I did like about this movie were the beautiful filming locations. There were some good action parts at the end with the pirate ships, and Tom Holland. Like I said, I enjoy him as an actor. And at the end, so we see that Nathan Drake's brother, Sam Drake, thought to be dead after Gabrielle shot him and Sullivan left him for dead. The end shows him alive and in a jail, so he's somewhere unknown in a jail, very much alive. So could we get a sequel? Do you even want a sequel? I personally don't. This is definitely a one and done in my opinion. So I would give this a 4 out of 10. So let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this movie as either a gamer or a casual moviegoer. And if you could like, subscribe, all of that stuff, it would really help me to grow my channel. Thank you.